we're going to come to seated. So I have my blanket to sit on. So obviously grab whatever makes you comfortable. And we're just going to start with grabbing our journal. So maybe it's a journal that you use daily. Just grab hold of it, and we're going to start with writing down 3 things that we are grateful for. So gratitude is obviously something that is good to do daily, but everything is much more heightened under the full moon. So it's nice to obviously work with releasing, but also to honour those things that we are truly grateful for. So when I write gratitude, I always write, I am truly happy and grateful for, whatever that might be, and then I finish with thank you, thank you, thank you. So let's just take a minute before we start our yoga practice, just to write down something in our journal that we are truly grateful for. It's also quite nice to write the date as well, which is the 27th today. So ideally, if you can, write down 3 things. Always writing in the present moment, especially if you're writing things that maybe you're manifesting. You write it like it's already here. So maybe I'm truly happy and grateful for, maybe it's a new job, you write it down as you've already got it. Once you've finished that, take your time, there's no rush. Just start to get your support ready. So if you have a yoga bolster, have your block and your bolster with the block under the head part of the bolster, and then have a blanket for that extra support for the head. So again, no rush, just take your time. And the same as we move through the yin poses, if you feel that you want to stay in a pose longer, then that's what you do. You don't always have to do every single pose. Obviously we do hold for some time, but if you need longer, then make sure you take it. So we're going to have our bolster, our support behind us. So once you have it in place, bring your lower spine, your back to your bolster or your pillows, whatever you're using. Have a bend in the legs and then allow your body to roll back, making sure that you have that support underneath your head. And then sending the arms away from the body, palms facing up. If your bolster feels too much, if you've any particular lower back tension, then just change it. Use a pillow, it doesn't matter what you use as long as you feel comfortable. If you need to make your head higher, if you need to cover yourself with a blanket, really make sure that you feel nurtured and fully supported. Just allowing yourself to find some stillness at the start of your practice. Just noticing your natural breath, just letting the breath come in and release out as it chooses to do so. Just fully arriving in your practice this evening. So as we know, the full moon is celebrated for thousands of years in ancient cultures. It's seen as very special, magic, and contains a very special energy. Everything is much more heightened under the full moon. It's a time to gather with community, to release any unwanted energies, and to really truly honour ourselves. Particularly as women, we naturally follow the cycle of the moon. Our body is full of water. We naturally associate with the tide and the energy of the moon. So maybe just start to notice how you're feeling. Has there been any particular heightened emotions at the moment? Are you feeling more tired? Even more angry? Just noticing how you feel. And this is a lovely time just to come back to connection, particularly with yourself. As many of us are surrounded more with unnatural light, screens, that permanent state of being switched on. We've naturally started to disconnect more from nature, from those natural cycles, ignoring that natural rhythm of life. The seasons, the tides, the sun, the moon. So as you rest here for a little longer, just really feel the light of the moon above you. Like you're absorbing that light. Very slowly, when you're ready, if you let the legs go long, take a bend back into them. Just draw the knees towards each other, letting the feet move a little to the side of your mat. Just resting for a moment. Being aware of the lower back, maybe connecting to your support. Taking your time to slowly roll back to seated. And again, if you need to sit on something, then do take that support. So coming to a cross-legged or a kneeling position, whatever works best. I'd like you just to bring the back of the hands onto the knees and allow the eyes to close. So you're in that seated Sukhasana position. We're going to start to practice our left nostril breathing. The left side is connected to the moon energy. The right is the sun. So we're just going to work with breathing in through our left nostril and exhaling out of the right to balance this energy. You can either do this with a mudra where you close and open the left side of the nose, or you can just do it by visually being aware of the breath through the left and out of the right. You're using the mudra, then you just tuck in the first and the second finger on your right hand. Your ring finger is closing the left nostril. So we just start to bring awareness to that left side. Now starting to inhale through the left nostril. Maybe you're closing the right with the thumb as you inhale left. Taking a pause, holding that inhale in. Very gently close the left nostril with the ring finger and exhale out of the right. Closing the right, inhale left. Closing the left, exhale right. We're going to continue with this breath in your own time. Inhaling left and exhaling right. Few more rounds. Our left nostril breathing. After your next breath, just release the mudra if you was using it. Coming back to the awareness of the breath through both nostrils. Taking a deep inhale in. And a slow exhale out. Start to bring the chin down towards the chest. Lengthening into the back of the neck. Take a roll of the head over to the right. Holding right. Dropping the chin back to the chest. And moving to the left. Holding left. Coming back to center slowly. Moving over to the right. And this time continuing that circle. Slow and controlled. The shoulders just feel heavy as you roll through the head. Coming to center and changing direction. Coming back to center when you're ready. Just move away any support that you have and take hold of your bolster now, bringing it to the top of your mat, widthways across the mat with some distance just in front of your bolster. So just bring it down a little bit so it's not quite at the top. We're going to come round onto our hands and our knees. You can bring your hands onto your bolster and then step the knees back, send the knees wide, bring the big toes together and start to sit back to your heels with your hands staying on your bolster as you drop your head to your mat or to maybe a rolled up blanket. So you're going to feel this across the upper back, Make sure the hands are not gripping, they're just resting down. You're going to feel this through the arms, shoulders, stretching along with the arms, adjusting so now you can be still. As you inhale, breathe into the space of the upper back. As you exhale, allow this space to soften. Inhaling, expanding. Exhaling, softening. When you feel ready, make your way back into a table position, this time with your hands on your mat. Let's take a few rounds of cat-cow. So inhaling, gazing forwards. Exhaling, drawing the chin to the chest and pushing the spine to the ceiling. Keep going in your own time, maybe closing the eyes. Moving the breath through the spine. Pausing between your inhale and exhale. Making your way back to table when you're ready. Let's shift the right knee forwards towards our bolster and turn your big toe to the side of your mat as you walk your left leg back. We bring that bolster towards our right knee. We rest our arms down, our chin down. Our hands come to the mat so we're not holding the arms at all. You can always push your support away and come all the way down if you prefer. As we come into sleeping swan. Once you're there, I'm going to get you to sit into your right glute. So in our normal hatha practice, we tend to keep the hips in line, but this time I'd like you to sit into that right glute. Make any adjustments that you may need. And then find that stillness. Yin yoga is very much about slowing down, delving into the parasympathetic nervous system, letting go of always being in that fight and flight. Coming back to the connection with your body, its natural cycle. Noticing the things that maybe have come up for you this last week, last month. As we practice under the full moon, just maybe being aware of any emotion or feeling maybe doesn't serve, maybe ready to let go of. And just like the moon affects the tide, just see if you can let those feelings, those emotions drift away, like the tide going out to shore. We are going to stay here a little longer. When ready, just start to ease your way back up, sitting on that right glute to release out. You're going to come onto your right side. I'm just moving the bolster so you can see. But you're going to be on your right side. You will need maybe a blanket as well. And we're going to send our legs long, stacking our legs on top of each other. Our bolster, or it can be, if you need it gentler, than a pillow, is going to be into our middle of our waist. We're going to have our rolled up blanket, or maybe it's another pillow, on top of our right arm as we lie down with that support for our head. Now don't be afraid to adjust it. Make it higher, make it lower. And then from here, I'd like you to bring your left arm to meet your right. So you're going to feel quite a stretch into that right side of the body. Remember, you can adjust. You can use a pillow instead of your bolster. You can make your head higher, maybe with a block and a blanket. Make sure you are comfortable. Once you're there, just let your eyes close. Taking a check in with that right side of the body. Expanding the breath into the right side, the waist, the oblique muscles, shoulder, the arm, the hip. Seeing if you can soften and let go a little bit more. Softening even the fingers and the toes, the jaw, the mouth. Take in rest now as we find stillness. When you're ready, just take a bend into both knees. Move your left arm up, and then send your left arm behind you as you maybe start to turn into the head. So you're going to get quite a deep stretch through the spine. Turning the face to face upwards. Right arm can stay where it is or maybe adjust a little lower. I'm not going to be here too long, but just enjoying that deep rotation through the spine. Creating space in that left shoulder, through the chest and the heart. Allowing your breath to come in now even deeper, taking up that space of the abdomen, the lungs. When you feel ready, just take your time to roll back onto one side, your right side. And then slowly start to make your way upwards. Coming into your table again. Really take your time, there's no rush. So we have all of that lovely stretching and releasing to do on our left side now. So we're going to start by drawing the left knee towards our bolster or our pillow, turning the big toes to the side of our mat, shifting our right leg back as far as we can take it, drawing the bolster to the left knee as you walk down towards it, dropping the arms down, dropping the chin down, the chest, adjusting to where you need that support. You can always push it away. Once you're there, maybe sitting into that left glute, pushing the left glute down towards your mat. Letting yourself be supported. Giving yourself full permission just to let go. This is one of the lovely things about practicing from the comfort of our own home. It's much more easier to take that permission of letting go, worrying about the person next to you in the class, the person in front of you or behind you. It's just you and your space. Your body, your mat, your home. As you become still, just notice those thoughts, acknowledge them. And just start to let them get further and further away. Take your time to slowly make your way back up. Remember, there's no rush. Everything done with awareness, slowness. We are going to be coming onto our left side, so you will want that support again for your head, maybe in the form of your blanket or your pillow. We're coming onto our left side, sending our legs long. Our bolster is into our waist, our middle of our back, and we have our support over our left arm for our head, resting down. Soften the fingers of the left hand, and then let that right arm reach up and over towards the left. You can always bring a block between the hands or an extra pillow. Just closing the eyes. Maybe just noticing whether this side feels any different. If you are experiencing any tightness, start to guide your breath into those muscles, giving your muscles permission to let go. You're going to scan through the body, just seeing if you can soften and release that little bit more. Starting to take that bend into the legs in your own time. Reaching the right arm up and then taking it back behind you, maybe turning the gaze or face up to the ceiling. Closing the eyes, and letting that right arm get heavy towards the ground. Opening into the right shoulder. Turning the heart space, the throat space, towards the moon, the sky, the stars. Surrendering, releasing. Staying here a little longer. Slowly coming back to center, coming away from your support. So we're going to come into a supported forward fold. You can take your legs wide, or if you prefer the legs closer together, then you take that option. Have your bolster just in front of you, as close to you as you can. So if you want, you can have your legs closer together if you prefer. And then stack your support on top of your bolster. So again, it might be your pillow, your blanket. Whatever position you have your legs in, just let your toes relax. So even just give them a little wiggle, shake, a release. Shake the heels. So we're not holding anything in the legs. And then we just start to fold towards our support. So it might be we cross the hands and we bring the forehead down. It might be that we turn the head to one side, relaxing the shoulders. And don't worry if you've turned the head, I will remind you to turn the other way. So really just go with what feels good. And as you fold forward now, just starting to maybe delve further inwards. Like you're in a cocoon, shutting off the outside world. And just again come back to any sensations, any feelings, any emotions that are naturally arising for you. Just really allowing yourself to experience any of these feelings that come up. And maybe not just in your practice, maybe they're feelings that you've noticed these last few days around this full moon. Often we can naturally suppress feelings, maybe hiding them, suppressing them with food, with alcohol, with being busy. So under this guidance of the moon, just start to process, really process what, if anything, that is coming up. If you have your head turned, just turn it the other way now as we find that stillness for a little longer. Just before you come out, again, just come back to noticing. And just noticing whether there is something that you need to make peace with. Maybe it's a forgiveness, maybe it's a person, a place, yourself. And either staying here a little longer or grabbing your piece of paper that you have close to you and writing that thing that's come up down. Maybe it's I'm willing to release, I'm willing to forgive. Maybe it's I let go. Just whatever comes to mind. This is optional. But as you know, the moon is a powerful time. And we don't want to hold on to those things that don't make us feel good, maybe hurt us. So see this as freeing yourself. And you maybe write down those feelings. When you're ready, if you're still in your pose, just start to come out. Hanging on to our bolster, let's bring it into the middle of our mat, again widthways. And I'd encourage you to have a small pillow or a blanket for the top of your head. Also have a blanket close by to cover yourself in a little while. And then as you have your bolster, make sure that you have it as close to you as you can. Again, your legs are bent. We're going to roll back over our bolster. It can be a pillow as well if the bolster feels too strong this evening. And just take it under the lower back and the top of the glutes. Once you have it in place, see if it feels okay to send your legs long. If it doesn't, you take a bend again. And then see if it feels nice to either cactus the arms or maybe to send the arms long. Choosing the option that feels better this evening. Wherever you're at, just let the eyes close if that feels okay. Making any final adjustments. And then giving your body that permission to be still. Maybe just coming to the awareness of your heart area. And especially if you have written anything down, maybe just feeling a sense of spaciousness around the heart. you did have your legs long, just start to take a bend. And then draw the knees in towards the chest. Just holding on to the knees, softly drawing them in, staying on your support, resting there. Maybe just taking a little bit of movement side to side, massaging a little into the back, very slowly. And then drop the feet down to your mat. Just push up and slide your bolster down your mat as well. So maybe your bolster comes under the knees. This is where I'd like you to cover yourself with your blanket. Maybe grab your essential oil, your crystals. Quite nice to hold your crystals or place them along the chakra points. If you're using an oil, maybe just grabbing a drop in the palm of the hand and applying it to the belly, shoulders, the neck, the temples, depending on what oil you're using. A few breaths in. And then adjusting your body now so you can become still. Maybe the crystals in the palm of your hands, maybe on a chakra point that you feel more drawn to. Maybe just simply next to you on your yoga mat. Making any final adjustments. Resting back in Shavasana. Being aware of the light of the full moon above you. With the eyes closed, just visualize that full moon shining above you. Allowing the light of the moon to bath the whole of your body. And just as we let go of the things that no longer serve, I'd like you to start to visualize the things that do serve you. The goals, the dreams, the desires. All of the wonderful things about you. And as you look into this full moon, visualize yourself. Maybe in that perfect job, perfect home, that place, whatever you desire. See it right now, like you're holding it in both hands. It's already here. Remember, we have to be clear. The universe can't guide and support us if we don't give it clear messages. So think about those things that excite you. Think about those places, those people that make you feel good. Doing whatever your heart desires is already here. As you rest under this full moon, let it recharge you, let it nourish you, let it support you, let it balance you and ground you. Resting in this light of the full moon for as long as you need. Resting here for as long as you need. When you leave your practice this evening, I'd like you to rip up that letter, that note, or burn it. Let it completely go. And as you drift off to sleep this evening, under the light of the moon, again, Just visualize all of your desires like they're already here. Sleep well.